Excellency, here you go. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for your very kind introduction. Honorable President Kim Dong-wan of Korea University, Honorable Senior Vice President Ben So-tu, Vice President of Quacquarelli Symonds, esteemed leaders of higher education, excellencies, ambassadors present here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is both an honor and privilege for me to join you today for this QS Higher Education Summit, Asia Pacific 2025. I extend my heartfelt appreciation to Korea University and QS for organizing this truly meaningful gathering. I am also commending their tireless commitment to advancing global dialogue on higher education, and in this regard, this summit couldn't be more timely and opportune. This year marks the 120th anniversary of the Korea University, an extraordinary milestone that celebrates more than a century of guiding academic excellence, leadership, and service to society. Hosting this summit at such a time is thus deeply symbolic. It reflects not only the university's impressive global standing, but also the growing influence of Korean higher educations in shaping the future of both Asia and the world. We also gather here in dynamic Seoul, which has been recently ranked the world's #1 most preferred city for international students by QS. I'm not surprised by such accolades, as Seoul embodies a unique harmony of education, innovation, and cultural ideal setting for this exchange of ideas and partnership between forward-thinking global citizens. This year's summit theme, Advancing Generational Potentials, Skills and Partnerships in the Asia-Pacific, could not be more important and opportune again. Indeed, humanity today faces many complex, interconnected challenges. These include climate change, inequality, public health crisis, geopolitical tensions, and the relentless pace of technological transformation, including AI. And no single nation or institution can meet these challenges alone. I have been repeatedly saying that there is not a single country, single individual in this world, however powerful, however resourceful one may be, United States, United Kingdom, Europeans, Japan, Korea, they cannot do it alone. We have to join all our hands on the deck together. That's the hard lessons which I have learned during my tenure work as Secretary General of the United Nations. And therefore, the answers lie in active collaboration across borders, across generations, and across disciplines, and more importantly, quality education. I am a firm believer, including myself, my own case, that I'm the product of quality education, hard work. This is what I've been speaking to many young students, young generations traveling around the world. Having served as UN Secretary General for 10 years, I have witnessed firsthand how profoundly independent our world has become. The crises we face are global, And so too must be our solidarity, our insight, and our courage, and our action. As I said, we must work all together, all together. At the heart of this effort stands the university, not merely as a cradle of knowledge, but as a moral compass and incubator of ethical leadership for future generations. In addition, the Asia-Pacific region is a home to more than half of humanity. It is also home to the energy, creativity, and hope of countless young people eager to construct a better world. Our universities must therefore go beyond merely preparing students for jobs or knowledge. We must nurture in them critical thinking, the way how they become critical thinkers, empathy, and ethical judgment, the essential foundation of true leadership, and most importantly, global citizenship. You may be proud of your own nationalities. I'm proud to be a Korean, but Korea cannot do it alone. Therefore, we must all work together. This is a global citizenship. This is critical as young people are not only the beneficiaries of the future, they are its architects. As such, our task is to empower them as global citizens, able to collaborate, to innovate, and to act responsibly and sustainably on a global scale. We now live in a hyper-connected society where politics, economies, cultures, and ideas intertwine in real time. Yet, at the same time, we are all citizens of our nations and citizens of the world. I'm proud to be a Korean, but one needs to be a global citizen. This is my message to you, particularly young students here. UNESCO defines a global citizen as someone who actively promotes a more peaceful, tolerant, inclusive, secure, and sustainable society. To foster such a citizenship, we must cultivate not only passion, but also compassion, understanding, empathy, and respect for others. This is the defining essence of global citizen. If I may add one more out of text. Some of you may know that in 1962, I had unique privilege of meeting President John F. Kennedy. I was a high school boy. I was one of the 140 international students. There were 4 students from Korea. The President Kennedy told us that there are no boundaries in this world, but there were so stricter boundaries between East and West, communist countries, democratic countries, so we could not go beyond Korea much. But he said there is no national boundaries. The question is whether you are ready to extend your helping hand to others. This was striking to me, even though I was just a 17-year-old high school boy. That was amazing. That has given me, always in my mind, all the time, direction. You must be a global citizen. I never expected that one day I would serve the United Nations as a Secretary General. So this is a real global citizenship. So particularly young people, young students who are attending this meeting, please bear in mind, you are proud of Korean citizenship. But before being proud as Koreans, you are global citizens. This is the main message which I am now telling you. Again, if I may, then I thought that for a poor Korean students or poor Koreans, I think our leaders at that time had some foresight that education, global education, higher education, that's most important in mobilizing Korea's mobility. This is why I am standing before you. I'm telling you from my own experience. Again, in 2012, during my time as UN Secretary General, I launched the Global Education First Initiative. I thought that there are many resources, energy or water or oil, money, etc. But I thought that to make our worlds together prosper, I think education should be the foundation. And at that time, I said, Global Education First Initiative. This is abbreviated like a GEFI, G-E-F-I, Global Education First Initiative. I invited then former British Prime Minister Gordon Brown. Can you do this one? He was more than passionate. He just agreed to my proposal, and I appointed him as my special envoy for Global Education First Initiative. Now, that's why I worked very closely with UNESCO, et cetera, et cetera. The United Nations placed education, as I said, at the very top of the international agenda and to promote global citizenship education worldwide. And since leaving office, I have continued this mission through, I have established 4 foundations, my namesake, Ban Ki-moon Center first in Vienna for global citizens. This was the first one, together with Heinz Fischer, former president of Austria. Then in Seoul, I have founded Ban Ki-moon Foundation for a Better Future, again. This is another one. And one in New York, Ban Ki-moon Foundation. Then lastly, in China, again, Ban Ki-moon Foundation for a Better Future. Those are the organizations which I work together with the global citizens and governments. Again, these institutions are dedicated to spreading the values and virtues of global citizenship and promoting education for a sustainable future for all that leaves no one behind. It is very important that there should be no one left behind, others. We must go all together. Here today, Korea University, standing proudly on 120 years of history and global vision, is a shining example of this same guiding spirit. And also this summit, Korea University, is reaffirming its role as a bridge between East and West, North and South, between tradition and innovation, and between learning and action. Learning may be important, but action should be followed. This week, more than, I understand, 1,200 leaders from across Asia Pacific, university presidents, vice chancellors, government officials, and education experts have all gathered at Korea University to attend this summit. This is an invaluable opportunity to exchange ideas, forge partnerships, and inspire concrete actions. Above all, it reminds us that higher education is not the privilege of a few, but a shared responsibility of all humanity around the world. Honorable President of universities, excellencies, ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear young leaders, your role is absolutely pivotal. The discussions we hold today will extend far beyond academia. They will shape the future of democracy, the economy, and the very survival of our planet. To unlock generational potential, universities must create formal avenues for young people to participate in governance, research, and policy design. Their voices, insights, and energy are not optional. They are indispensable. During my years at the United Nations, I witnessed how empowered youth can drive remarkable change. Indeed, young people approach problems with creativity, urgency, and courage. They are not fearful of anything in their head. Universities must therefore see young people not as passive participants, but as true partners in shaping our future. But education is not merely about preparing for the future. It is about creating it as well. As such, we must teach not only knowledge, but also values, empathy, and ethical leadership. We must help students think globally, act locally, think wide, globally, but act locally, and use their talents for the benefits of humanity and the planet. That is a true purpose of global citizenship, education, and is a very core lies in sustainability. This year also marks the landmark 10th anniversary of the UN 2030 Sustainable Development Goals with the 17 goals and the Paris Climate Change Agreement. Many people ask me, what are you proud of during your time as a Secretary General? I just 2.5. One is, during my time, I was able to bring all the leaders, be they political, business, civil society, to one place, one mind, and agreed upon Paris Climate Change Agreement. And also, I have mobilized all the resources, all the powers, and all the people to agree on 17 goals of Sustainable Development Goals. Then what are remaining 2.5? Half means I stopped there, but I'm sure that my successor is going on. Women's empowerment, and youth empowerment, much more on women's empowerment. For the first time, I established UN Women at the United Nations. This is like a ministry of women at the United Nations. There were a lot of pushback from the member states, big member states, because they said, we don't have money to establish such a big organization. But I pushed very hard. Some ambassador accused me through New York Times interview. Secretary General Ban is not a king. Member states are not his subject. I never said that I was a king. There is some leader, or certain leader in this world who seem to act like a king. I'm not going to name. I also wanted to empower youth because they are going to be our leadership. When it comes to youth empowerment, I was not that successful like UN Women. It's a half done. I left it to my successor, but I'm afraid to tell you that it's still standing that way. I sincerely hope that the United Nations will do much more for youth empowerment because they are the future leaders. Because our only hope is on their success, women and youth. These are left to one. The harsh reality is that 17%, if I may say, Sustainable Development Goals are on track. They are not much on track, just 17%. 17 goals, 17%. This is what I reported to, advised to current Secretary General, Antonio Guterres. You must do much more. You must do much more. Furthermore, the goal of Paris Climate Change Agreement to limit the rise in the global average temperature within 1.5 degrees Celsius. WMO had already announced that it has gone to 1.55. I think it is a little bit temporary, so still we have time to work. This is why, again, we must work together. If we fail to meet the climate goal, all of other SDG goals lose meaning. Along with education, we must all take action. We must do it now. Carbon neutrality will demand nothing less than a transformation of how we live, work, and lead. If leaders change course based on convenience or short-sighted political gain, we will never build the new citizens envisioned by the SDGs and Paris Climate Change Agreement. This is why I often urge young people, I'm urging again young people here, raise your voice, challenge your leaders, tell the leaders that, look, Mr. President, Mr. Minister, this is the world. My generation and my succeeding generation will continue to live. Please make sure that this world, during your time, is sustainable and climate friendly. I hope you will continue to follow this one. Demand action. Be the generation that chooses courage over complacency. The world is yours, dear young people, young generation. As we celebrate Korea University's incredible 120th years of legacy and simultaneously look forward to the future, let us renew our shared commitment to build a more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable world for all through quality education and global citizenship. Let us empower our students not only to achieve personal success, but to fulfill their responsibilities as global citizens. Let us strengthen partnership among universities, governments, and industries so that our collective efforts may yield lasting impact. For true leadership is not measured by ranking or titles, but now by how many lives we uplift, how much potential we unlock, and how deeply we contribute to humanity's progress. By advancing generational potential, nurturing global citizenship, and championing sustainability, higher education, quality education will continue to serve as a driving force of transformation in our time. And I'm confident that the dialogue and commitment forged at this timeless summit will resonate far beyond this campus. Indeed, they will reverberate across Asia Pacific and throughout the world. Together, let us ensure that the next generation lead us toward a future that is better, fairer, and more peaceful and sustainable for all. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Republic of Korea's national development journey is a testament to the transformative power of education. From the ashes of colonization and the Korean War, our nation has risen to become the world's 10th largest economy and the 6th largest trading partners, celebrated globally for its cultural production and artistic dynamism. Ours is only nation in modern history to have transformed itself from an aid recipient into a donor country. This is unbelievable. Even I could not believe whether Korea is the only country who have turned to donor country from donor recipient. You can check the United Nations United record. Korea is the only one. Ladies and gentlemen, Korea University and other leading educational institutions have sent forth generations of dedicated graduates who have powered and modernizing our country, industrializing our country, and also democratization. Their commitment continues to shape Korea's story and to inspire the world. And the miracle of Korean education continues to this day, right here, and spirit of creative disruption, breaking away from outdated conventions and rigid traditions. I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you will all seize this opportunity of today to experience firsthand the vitality and significance of Korean education. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, once again, I extend my warmest congratulations on the successful hosting of the QS Higher Education Summit, Asia Pacific 2025, and I wish good health, good fortune to all of the distinguished guests gathered here today. Let us work together to make sure that our world is sustainable and peaceful. That's my moral responsibility now. I don't have political responsibility. You also, professors, moral responsibility, but ambassadors here, you have political responsibility. So when political, moral responsibility are conjoined, we will be proud to leave this planet Earth to our succeeding generation, that they will admire us, our fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers. They worked hard to make sure that our world would be sustainable and peaceful. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that speech. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.